Hope you like staying in town, because the Solterra isn't going much farther than that. What's so small town about it? My job is so small town, Mellencamp crooned, provides little opportunity. The Solterra's drawbacks are correlated almost entirely to its Toyota-sourced EV powertrain. It doesn't go very far compared to other EVs, and it charges so slowly you don't want to take it on a road trip, anyway. Probably die in a small town, indeed. The Solterra, and BZ4X, gets only 222 miles of range from its 72.5 kWh battery, which is low by today's standards. Take it out on the freeway and set the cruise control to 70 miles per hour like we do for our Motor Trend road trip range test, and you'll only make it 196 miles before you've used up 95% of the battery and need to find a charger. Stat. On the plus side, that's among the smallest differences between claimed range and actual road trip range we've seen. 196 miles is the better part of 3 hours of driving, so you might be ready for a break, anyway. Problem is, it won't be a long break. Whereas the quickest charging cars on sale today will go from 10% to 80% state of charge in as little as 18 minutes on a DC fast charger, the Subaru says the Solterra needs at least 35 minutes. That's due, in no small part, to its 100 kilowatt peak charging speed, among the lowest in the industry. What's more, that's an improvement. Last year's model needed at least 45 minutes, Subaru says. Anything over 30 minutes is slow, and the Solterra is even slower. We ran a charging test, and despite the new hardware and software in the 24 model, it still took 45 minutes to go from 5 to 80%, and batteries charge faster the emptier they are. Part of the problem was charging speeds never hit 100 kilowatts despite the initial state of charge being so low, even though Subaru says the upgrades should allow it to sit at 100 kilowatts much longer than before. Best we saw was 81 kilowatts. On another charger, it took 32 minutes to go from 49 to 80%, and charge speeds peaked at 43 kilowatts. It's the only EV we've tested that we haven't timed all the way to 100% because it took so long and other people needed the charger. We presented this data to Subaru. It told us it would pass it along to the engineers. With limited range and such slow charging, trying to take the Solterra on a road trip would be an exercise in frustration even if public charging infrastructure was amazing, which it isn't. As such, the Solterra's best use case is as a city car for commuting, running errands, and such. It'd be best to keep a second car in the garage with more range, faster charging/refueling, or both. Assuming you can afford to be a multi-car household, of course. From the inside. If you can accept that caveat, there's a lot to like about the Solterra. More than anything, it drives very nicely. Built on Toyota's excellent TNGA platform, the Solterra handles noticeably better than it needs to and certainly better than your average compact SUV. At the same time, it doesn't compromise on ride quality. It really is pleasant to run around town in. By the numbers. Fortunately, we got our instrumented testing done before the rain arrived. We didn't have a chance to test the 2023 Solterra, but we have tested the BZ4X so we can use that as a basis of comparison. This car weighed a few pounds heavier than the all-wheel drive Toyota, but not enough to account for the fact it's 0.2 seconds slower to 60 miles per hour. Still, at 6.0 seconds, it's plenty quick enough for a compact SUV. In fact, it's quicker than you might think behind the wheel as the throttle seems to be tuned for comfort, so you really have to step on it to get all the power. There's a but coming. The only problem with thinking of the Solterra as a city car is the price. At $46,340 to start, there are several EVs that'll go farther and charge faster. For the $53,340 this top-shelf touring model costs, you can get EVs that'll go 50% farther and charge in half the time. Plus, the Solterra doesn't qualify for any federal tax credits if you buy one, so the price you see is the price you pay. It does qualify for the tax credit if you lease, so there's that.